Synthetic base layers have a strange reputation. Some people swear by them and wear nothing else. Others say they feel hot, uncomfortable, and impossible to tolerate indoors. Both sides are usually reacting to real experiences, just in very different situations. Synthetic fabrics are designed with a specific purpose in mind, and when that purpose matches your day, they can work extremely well. When it doesn't, they can quickly become annoying. In this video, we'll look at what synthetic base layers are actually made for, when they shine, and when another fabric will feel far more comfortable. What synthetic base layers are designed for. Synthetic base layers were not created to feel cozy or luxurious. They were designed to solve a very specific problem. What happens to your body when you move and start sweating in cold conditions? The goal isn't softness or warmth by itself, but speed. How quickly moisture can be pulled away from the skin, and how fast the fabric can dry. When you move, your body produces heat and sweat almost immediately. If that moisture stays close to the skin, you cool down faster once movement slows. Synthetic fabrics are engineered to prevent this by moving sweat outward, away from the body, where it can evaporate. This creates a more stable feeling during activity, even when temperatures are low. This design comes from sports, outdoor work, and physically active environments. Synthetic base layers are meant to perform while you're walking, climbing stairs, carrying weight, or changing pace. They are built for motion, not stillness. Comfort here doesn't mean softness. It means not feeling suddenly cold, clammy, or soaked. Because of this, synthetic base layers often feel different from natural fabrics. They may feel warmer, more sealed, or less breathable at first. But that sensation is part of how they control moisture and heat during movement. When used for the right kind of day, this design makes sense. The problem usually starts when synthetic base layers are used outside the conditions they were built for. When synthetic base layers work really well, synthetic base layers shine on days that involve movement. Walking long distances, commuting, working on your feet, climbing stairs, or spending time outdoors are situations where these fabrics do exactly what they're meant to do. As your body heats up and starts producing sweat, synthetics move that moisture away from the skin quickly, which helps prevent that sudden cold feeling when you slow down. One of the biggest advantages of synthetic base layers is how fast they dry. Even if you sweat, the fabric doesn't stay damp for long. This creates a sense of consistency. You may feel warm while moving, but you don't feel chilled afterward. For many people, this stability is what makes synthetic layers feel reliable during active days. Synthetic base layers are also practical in unpredictable conditions. When your pace changes often, or when you move between outdoor cold and sheltered spaces, fast-drying fabrics reduce discomfort. You don't carry moisture from one environment into the next, which helps your body reset more easily. This is why synthetics are popular for travel, outdoor activities, and daily routines that involve a lot of walking. They aren't trying to feel invisible or soft. They're trying to keep your body functioning comfortably under stress. When movement is part of your day, synthetic base layers often feel like the easiest option, not because they're perfect, but because they recover quickly and don't fall apart once conditions change. Why synthetic base layers can feel uncomfortable. Synthetic base layers often become uncomfortable when movement slows down. The same structure that helps them trap warmth and move moisture during activity can start working against you in calmer situations. When you stop walking, sit down, or move indoors, heat can build up faster than your body needs it. Many synthetic fabrics don't breathe as freely as natural ones. They limit airflow in order to control moisture, and this can create a sealed feeling. Instead of gently releasing heat, the fabric holds onto it. This is when people start describing synthetic base layers as too hot or suffocating, even in cold weather. Another common issue appears during long indoor periods. In offices, cafes, public transport, or travel situations, synthetic base layers often feel uncomfortable because your body isn't producing enough sweat to justify their performance design. Without movement, there's nothing for the fabric to manage, and warmth accumulates with nowhere to go. Odor is sometimes mentioned as well, but it's rarely the main problem. The real issue is heat balance. When a base layer is optimized for motion but used in still conditions, discomfort builds slowly and persistently. You may not notice it immediately, but after an hour, the fabric feels like something you want to remove. This is why synthetic base layers tend to divide opinion. They work extremely well in the right environment, but feel frustrating in the wrong one. The fabric isn't failing, it's simply doing exactly what it was designed to do, just not in the situation you're asking it to handle. Synthetic versus silk versus merino, a quick reality check. When you put synthetic base layers next to silk and merino wool, the differences become easier to feel than to explain. Each fabric follows a different logic, and none of them are meant to solve the same problem. Synthetic base layers focus on speed and recovery. They move moisture away from the skin quickly and dry fast, which makes them reliable during activity. They are at their best when your body is producing heat and sweat, and needs help stabilizing quickly. The trade-off is reduced breathability and a tendency to trap heat when movement stops. Silk sits at the opposite end of the spectrum. It feels light, smooth, and calm against the skin, but it doesn't handle moisture changes well. Silk works best when activity is low and conditions stay stable. It offers comfort through softness rather than performance, and once it gets damp, it struggles to recover. Merino will sit somewhere in between. It doesn't dry as fast as synthetics, but it continues to insulate even when damp. It also releases heat more gently, which makes it feel more forgiving across different situations. Merino adapts better to long days with mixed activity, even if it doesn't feel as instantly smooth as silk or as technical as synthetics. Seeing these fabrics side by side helps remove the idea of a best base layer. Each one solves a different problem. The key is understanding which problem your day actually presents. When you should and shouldn't, choose synthetic base layers. Synthetic base layers make the most sense when movement is a core part of your day. If you're walking a lot, commuting, working outdoors, or switching pace frequently, synthetics help your body recover quickly. They handle sweat efficiently, dry fast, and reduce that uncomfortable cold feeling that can appear once you slow down after activity. They're also a good option for days when conditions are unpredictable. Wind, light rain, changing temperatures, or repeated transitions between outdoors and sheltered spaces are situations where fast-drying fabrics feel reassuring. You don't carry moisture with you for long, and that keeps your body more stable overall. Synthetic base layers are less ideal for calm, low-activity days. Sitting for long periods, working indoors, traveling without much movement, or spending hours in heated spaces often makes them feel too warm and restrictive. In these situations, the fabric doesn't have much work to do, and heat builds up slowly but steadily. If you tend to overheat easily or dislike that sealed feeling around the body, synthetics may feel uncomfortable outside active use. This doesn't mean they're a bad choice. It simply means they're not meant to be worn all day, every day. They perform best when your routine matches their purpose. Synthetic base layers aren't about softness or subtlety. They're about function under movement. When your day involves activity, they can be incredibly effective. When it doesn't, another fabric will usually feel better. Comfort comes from choosing a base layer that works with your day, not against it.